The mobs from the 7 great sects showed their faces, but the masters are still hiding. Welcome, everyone, to episode 423 of My Disciples Are All Great Villains. If you're watching, please give a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get the new videos as soon as they drop. Zhou turned around and handed the falling moon bow to Hua Yuesheng, only to find that her mouth was a perfect O shape. Zhou spoke up to remind her, "Take it." Hua Yuesheng snapped back to reality. Why your subordinate will obey," she stammered, taking the bow and arrow while her excessively large loudspeakers were still jiggling non-stop. Zhou glided past her and said softly, "The speed of the arrow is very important. Don't always just pursue immense power." She immediately clamped her legs together, stopping her assets from jiggling. "Thank you for your guidance, Master." This arrow brought her many benefits. Her eyes were shimmering with the same look of ecstasy as someone on drugs as she gazed at the master. Before, when Hua Yuesheng shot an arrow, she purely pursued strength. Sometimes the target had already run away, but she was still trying to condense a giant arrow, which was truly ineffective. But seeing Zhou standing there calmly, Hua Yuesheng was a little confused. "Master, are you not continuing?" Zhou's arrow just now had given Hua Yuesheng so much to learn that she naturally wanted to observe his technique a few more times. Zhou raised his hand, and the nameless sword appeared in his palm. Before Hua Yuesheng could get a good look, the nameless sword had already transformed into a small bow. Zhou's eyes slightly narrowed. The girl asked in confusion, "This is?" Zhou answered calmly, "The nameless bow." He then looked down at the battle situation at the foot of the mountain. Hua Yuesheng was secretly thrilled. The nameless bow looked more refined and sophisticated than her falling moon bow. The power of its arrow was surely going to be even stronger and more formidable. Even celestial-grade weapons have different levels of power. Zhou silently stroked his beard, quietly waiting for the right opportunity. The extraordinary power of the heavenly scroll, combined with a celestial-grade weapon, could suppress the experts of the 7 great sects. Watching the group of 7 great sects begin their offensive, Zhou whispered, "They are only the vanguard. If they like to hide so much, this old man will play along to the very end." Hiding and sniping? Hua Yuesheng's eyebrows furrowed as she watched the master walk down the steps, but she quickly understood. An archer should hide far away and snipe. Just now, she was standing at the highest point of the evil sky pavilion, making herself an easy target. She was almost struck down by the opponent's master archer. Seniors are truly seniors. Their combat experience is far, far superior to mine. So, after seeing Zhou hide behind a pillar, Hua Yuesheng followed suit, sneaking off to hide. At the foot of the mountain, after the Tianshi sect master died, Hua Wudao was safely pulled back by little Yuan'er to the side of Zhu Honggong and Zhao Yu. Seeing little Yuan'er carrying old Gue back, Zhu Honggong praised endlessly, "Impressive, truly impressive. That move of the tortoise-shell transformation has opened my eyes." The battle just now had consumed too much energy, so Hua Wudao looked pale. When he landed, he stumbled for a moment before he could stand firm. Hua Wudao didn't have time to pay attention to Zhu Honggong's ass-kissing. His mind was in turmoil as he looked up towards the evil sky pavilion's main hall. Meanwhile, Hua Yuesheng was excitedly hiding and sniping. "It's so tense and thrilling." Lang Luo called out to Duanmusheng, "Little girl, go back." The little leopard, little Yuan'er, glared at the group of people in front of her. "No way." Duanmusheng and little Yuan'er flew up. He said softly, "Elder Lung, you've expended too much energy. Go back and rest. Little junior sister and I can handle this." As he spoke, Duanmusheng held his overlord's spear and flew forward. Little Yuan'er also flew beside him. The flying chariot in the sky stopped. "Summon the old devil Ji here." Duanmusheng raised his overlord's spear horizontally and said disdainfully, "Are you worthy?" A voice came from inside the flying chariot. I am Feng Qinghe of the Shocking Thunder sect. Below, a group of cultivators immediately flew out, hovering in front of this guy's flying chariot. Not far away, another flying chariot also emitted a voice. I am the sect master Shen Liang of the Soaring Ridge sect. Likewise, in front of his flying chariot, a group of Soaring Ridge sect disciples also lined up. This nun is Master Miaoyin of the Rui Convent, said a nun with a scowling expression. The Rui Convent's flying chariot did not have any disciples blocking the front, they were all on top. I am Zhuangzhua, the owner of the 7-Star Manor. This old man looked a lot like the Qingqing sect. After he spoke, a group of disciples also flew out, forming an imposing and aggressive barrier in front of the flying chariot. I am Sect Master Lu Ruyan of the Crimson Heart sect, a young, handsome man spoke. Finally, an old acquaintance spoke up. I am Xiao Jinhan, the first disciple of the Duanlin sect. The representatives of the 7 great sects had all appeared. With the exception of Taoist Master Jueyuan of the Tianshi sect who was just shot dead, there were still 6 flying chariots hovering in the air, surrounded by disciples. The previous times when the 10 great orthodox sects besieged Golden Court Mountain, it was not as magnificent as this. The block-headed guy below looked at the colossal formation and couldn't stop exclaiming in awe. Duan Musheng scoffed coldly, how dare you? Provoking the Evil Sky Pavilion again and again. Do you really think the Evil Sky Pavilion doesn't dare to start a massacre? Feng Qinghe laughed heartily and said, everyone present here, who among you hasn't had some core disciples killed by the Evil Sky Pavilion? Not only do you attack the 10 great orthodox sects, but you also don't spare people from the Cloud sect. Now you want to talk about reason with us? Duan Musheng couldn't hold it in anymore. Get the hell out of here, you mother *** curs. He unleashed his classic vulgar curse, his overlord spear brandishing and shooting out energy seals. Feng Qinghe, sitting in his flying chariot, launched a palm strike with vast, righteous energy like a river, blocking all of the Overlord Spear's energy blades. Things have come to this point, so reason no longer matters. The so-called righteous and devil factions have been at odds for a long time, this is nothing new. In the end, it just comes down to whose fist is bigger. He slightly curled his lips into a sneer. You guys should just summon the old devil here. The disciples of the 7 great sects slammed their weapons onto the ground, creating a resonating sound throughout Golden Court Mountain. That's right. Come out. Tell the master of the Evil Sky Pavilion to come out. The formation in the sky and the formation on the ground. The sight of countless people roaring was truly intense. At this moment, the cultivators flew towards Duan Musheng, and the 2 sides began a fierce battle. The old ghost won't dare to show his face, so let's go bully his disciples, brothers. The whole mob was extremely aggressive. The important figures remained seated on their 7 flying chariots, not showing their faces. They would only occasionally launch a stream of energy to attack Duan Musheng. Lang Luo looked up at the moon. This night will surely not be a peaceful one. How will the Evil Sky Pavilion overcome this tribulation? Seeing the opponent's battle formation, he wasn't very confident. If it were just him, Lang Luo wouldn't have hesitated to run away. Unfortunately, this battle wasn't just about him. Therefore, he didn't know what to do to resist the opponent's power. The attention of both sides was almost entirely on Duan Musheng. Currently, the Evil Sky Pavilion could only rely on its disciples. Meanwhile, the guy Zhu Honggong was cheering them on from below with all his might. Sect Master Lu Ruyan of the Crimson Heart sect stepped out of the flying chariot and said in a teasing tone, Hua Wudao can no longer fight. Lang Luo is just faking it. He's not even a 5-leaf cultivator, so he's nothing to be afraid of. He aggressively provoked them. I'd really like to see how long the old devil G can keep hiding, as the elders say. The most arrogant guys often don't live long. Seeing him come out, the old nun nodded slightly. The young sect master of the Crimson Heart sect is very promising. He is certainly the most outstanding young man of this generation. At the same time, the girls behind her were all throwing eggs at him. Sect Master Lu is truly a main character from a fantasy cultivation novel. Seeing this, the other girls joked with each other, "Don't blink, girls." Lu Ruyan naturally heard this and his heart was blossoming, but he had to maintain a cold demeanor on the outside. As soon as he showed his face, a small arrow of energy suddenly appeared from the top of the evil sky pavilion, glowing with a faint blue light. It tore through the sky with a sharp whoosh. Sect Master Lu Ruyan saw it and said in a deep voice, "I am not that idiot Zhuiyuan." He thought to himself, Zhuiyuan was severely injured, while I, Lu Ruyan, am in peak condition. What can a small arrow of energy do to me? Moreover, with my strength, how could I not stop it? He thought he could completely dodge the arrow with just a slight tilt of his head. He acted on his thought and moved to a different position, only to find that the arrow of energy also changed direction and flew towards him. This made him wary. But he still hunched over to continue dodging that arrow. But holy moly, his face suddenly turned pale, and his pupils contracted in shock. Because that arrow clung to him, refusing to let go, which made him feel something was wrong. The disciples of the 7 great sects all looked up at Lu Ruyan. He immediately raised his hand, and a shield of energy wrapped around his body, glowing with a golden light. He slightly bent his body and shouted, "What can a small arrow do to this sect master's body protecting energy? Don't even dream of it." But before he could finish speaking, with a swoosh, the arrow pierced through the energy shield and continued to penetrate Lu Ruyan's body, cutting off the part of him that was just so cocky. It's true that the most arrogant often don't live long. The arrow's piercing force didn't stop, and it slammed into the Crimson Heart sect's flying chariot, completely shattering the front part. This concludes episode 424. A sincere thank you to everyone who watched this video from Worm Anime. See you in the next new videos.